unlearning. Learning to unlearn. The ability to unlearn is going to serve you well. You've probably heard about this. You've probably read about this. This is one of the big things we have to do. We are conditioned and programmed from birth with a lot of non-useful, to put it lightly, sometimes destructive lessons, programming, wiring, mindsets, thoughts, beliefs, rules, guidelines. It's horrible. How did the world become this way? It's an entrapment, if you will. And in order to grow spiritually, and this will certainly affect your bank accounts, relationships, is you need to begin to unpeel the onion of all this, just these layers of, just shit. Like, non-useful things have layered your mind, and they're not serving you. And one of the big games that we have to play is to layer and unlearn this conditioning, this program, all this stuff that we have in our mind. So I was on a call today with a guy who needs real estate help, and he tried to venture on his own and flip a home. He'd done about 5 or 6 deals, like just little, rental deals, and it was good for him, but it took him about 10 years to do that. I think I did 10 my first year. Other people do a lot, even more than that. But that's not the point. The point is that this man hates his job. We were just having an honest conversation. Very unhappy, damn near miserable. His own words in his own confession. And he went to flip a house. He's like, well, I'm going to learn how to flip houses. He read some books. He read my book and maybe a couple other books, and went to do it and did not do what I teach. And, was in a predicament where he was probably going to lose about $30,000 or $40,000 if he just sold it in its current condition after all the rehab he did. Now, the interesting thing was I gave him at least two strategies that he could use to get out of that deal. And we had spoke about this deal a week ago, and I'm like, think about this and think about this. You can get out of this deal and not even just break even or lose money, but actually make money. And when we got on the call today, it was one of the first things he brought up, that he's having a hard time, with this deal because it's such a huge loss for him. It was devastating, were his words. I'm like, my friend, we just discussed a couple of opportunities where you can actually make money on this deal. And, and then we got into his situation again about he hates his job, wants to go into real estate, and all, basically programming is what we're really doing, and figuring out where he wants to go in the future. But at the end of the day, this guy is just not, he's just not willing to make a change. That's what it ultimately came down to with him, was asking him, like, in order for you to do the things that you want to do and have the things you want to have in terms of your income, your time freedom, your net worth, like, you can't cling to the things you've been clinging to and do the things you've been doing. So, and that was going to require an investment into a coaching program, whether it be with me or someone else. And he had a story where he thought he could learn it from books, even though he told me before that he knew he couldn't learn from books. And so anyway, so we had a conversation, tried to give him, steer him in the best direction I could. But there were just things coming up over and over and over, this programming, that he would acknowledge that was not useful and not serving him. But at the same time, when I was like steering him in the decision he'd have to make, and it was pretty assuredly did not look like he was going to be able to make those decisions. He's not making a lot of money. He's not happy. He doesn't have kids, doesn't want kids. Him and his wife, they don't want kids. Like, bro, you don't have a lot of the chains that most folks have with debt and children and all those responsibilities, yet you're stuck. He was just stuck in this comfort zone while not being comfortable. And I see that happening with a lot of people, that they're stuck in a comfort zone and it's just not comfortable. And why is that? Because all of this programming they have these stories and these beliefs, these mindsets, these rules and these laws that dictate their life, and they're trapped in a box, and they don't realize that you don't have to stay in that box. Like, that's a frame. That's a frame the way that you're viewing the world. You can shatter that frame at any time you choose. Now, it's going to require some work. It's going to require internal and external work, but you can do it. You can bust through frames. So think about this, like, what is it that you know, like, in your life and in your business, these things that you hold on to, these belief systems that you know that aren't serving you? How can you find out? Look in the mirror. Are you happy with what you see in your fitness? If not, there's some things you need to unlearn. Look at your bank accounts. Are your bank accounts where you want them to be? If not, there's some things you need to unlearn. Your relationships, what's not working there? Some things you need to unlearn. Begin to unlearn, because the answer that you need lies within you. And that's what I told the guy today. I'm like, dude, you can do this. Like, you've done 6 deals. You're an intelligent guy. You're in finance. You're smart. You can do this. Now, there's ways to speed it up, and you can have what you want a lot quicker with coaching, mentoring. But if not, you can do it yourself, but not until you unlearn some things, because that programming, no matter what you do, is going to default you to a certain response. So a lot of people think they got to learn something. I need to learn something new. You do. Like, I get it. There's new things we need to be learning all the time. But consider, there's some things that are just as equally important, if not more important, that you need to begin to unlearn in your life and unlearn in your business. And the more that you unlearn, you will begin to unlock freedom and open up doors that you never even knew were possible. But you gotta start unlearning, my friends. If you need some help unlearning some things while at the same time learning, I run a real estate breakthrough training. It's a live training for a small group of men once a week. If you'd be interested in that, hit me up, private message me, and I will send you details on how to get onto the call.